All right, that's enough of that. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Best of 5. We're staying alive. Elon, not Automatic this week. Automatic is out this week. He'll be back soon. Just me today, but we got quite a bit to talk about, including the much anticipated 2XKO Alpha Lab starts this Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific. We've all been kind of raring to get our hands on that game, so it's about gosh darn time that alpha test is going to be out. And it's going to run for 4 days, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. There's been some very bizarre shenanigans happening at EWC. I didn't want to cover the EWC, right? I think I've made my opinion very well known about what's going on with the EWC. However, let's talk about their format, shall we? We're gonna dive into that and see, like, sorry. That's gonna be it. It's gonna be a shorter show today because it's just me, but we'll get some business done. Before we get into anything else, I wanted to do the update about me because, of course, me being the most important person on this show right now, obviously, right, because I'm so important. But I wanted to give you guys a little life update. Still dealing with the injury from Evo, but it's getting better every day. Been getting back into the gym, so life is kind of going back into normal a little bit. Saturday, I invited S-Fan. You guys remember S-Fan from last year? Huge content creator here on Twitch, lives in Austin. I invited him to come out to, I ran into him at Evo again this year, and I invited him to come out to a local, and sure enough, he did. We brought him out to Saucy Saturday, this Saturday at Arcade UFO. It seems like he had a blast. I'll be completely honest, I got too excited. One of those things happened where, like, I was having the interactions and everything felt good, and then I watched his VOD, and I just sounded like an annoying asshole, so I was like, damn. Oh, I hate myself. But anyway, it still sounds like he had a good time nonetheless, though. It seems like he really enjoyed, like, the vibe of the arcade and, like, kind of the local scene a little bit. He talked to a couple people. I made sure to introduce him to a couple people as well. He seemed to have a good time. So I'm hoping he'll come back more often than not, and I'm hoping we can get Lakari over there as well as the other content creators that live here in Austin, so everybody can start playing some fighting games at a local level. You know what I'm saying? It was really fun. It was also the first time I've been to the local here since Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 came out. It's no secret that I have been, kind of on, like, a mental health journey recently, and I was finally able to, like, get myself out of the house. Granted, like, having a guest, me inviting somebody, I kind of had to go, so I didn't have the option. But with that said, I still had a hell of a time. And the local was crazy, dude. We had like 46 people show up for the bracket. It was awesome. A lot of, like, really good players that I have never met. A lot of great players that I've known for a long time. It was just really cool to see, man. It was just everybody vibing at the arcade. It was hot as hell, but everybody was still vibing. I also wanted to show you guys, your boy kind of, doing some work, over there. Look who made top 8. Look who made top 8. Granted, the 2 matches I did lose in the tournament were pretty decisively terrible. I got bodied. I got absolutely bopped. I lost on winner's side to Magneto 1080p, who got 3rd. 3-0, I couldn't do nothing. And then my first match in top 8 was against Remy Star, who's the Zangief, who got 5th. And then again, another 3-0. I couldn't do nothing. I just got my ass kicked. There's genuinely, like, nothing to be said or done about it. I just got absolutely bodied. So who knows? Maybe I'll come back stronger for next time. But big ups to everybody over there at Saucy Saturday, UGK for Life, Blasphemous Black, the owners of Arcade UFO, and everybody that played, everybody that, that I pulled the chat with Hesfan. It was really cool, man. It was really cool introducing the thing. My goal for the whole thing was to introduce Hesfan to this side of the FGC, right? The local side, where, like, I feel like, especially in esports, outside of the FGC. There is so much of the glitz and glamour, the button up esports feel, right? That are all these major tournaments. So I wanted to make sure that they saw the grassroots side of it, right? Like just the underground, if you will, of everybody just hanging out at the arcade, playing at a tournament, learning and grinding and trying to get better, having fun with friends, whatever it may be. So I feel like that was accomplished, and it seemed like he had a good time. So if Asfand, if you hear this, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? I also really enjoyed seeing a bunch of people in his chat saying something like, "Oh man, I should go find a local near me." So, mission accomplished, baby. Mission accomplished. But the local was super duper fun, man. I need to go out more. I'm planning on getting out there this Saturday because it's Tekken, and Tekken's the game I need the most help with. I definitely won't be making top 8 for Tekken. Even if there's 8 people there, I'm probably still gonna get 9th. So, you know, that's just Tekken, man. That's just Tekken. But anyway, let's get into this shenanigan, shall we? I was gonna go over the stuff that happened at Defend the North. However, I think we're just beating a dead horse, right? So I'll just be very, very brief with it. The big issue that happened at Defend the North this year was that the Sam Show bracket got moved, and the players were not told that the Sam Show bracket got moved. So a lot of people showed up expecting to play Sam Show just to be told to come back the next day, and not when, or as far as I'm aware, like not a specific time or anything. And then when they ran the bracket, nobody showed up. So a lot of people who were there for Sam Show kind of got the shit end of the stick, and that wasn't communicated very well to the players. But anyway, that's been like talked about already. So it's like, what's use beating a dead horse, right? It's a mistake. It happens. My hope is that the folks over at Defend the North are going to do better next year. You know, that's all we can hope for now. And let's talk about the EWC. Now, I do not want to cover EWC stuff. However, I had to cover it because this is kind of crazy. So they announced the format of the EWC for Street Fighter 6 and for Tekken, I'm assuming, as well. And it's interesting. It's very interesting. We already know about all the issues they had with the Last Chance qualifier. We already know about all the issues that they've had with everything else. I think the pools, or like the groups for the actual tournament, were based on how people qualified. However, mysteriously, there's still like 2 mainland Chinese players in. There's 4 mainland Chinese players in total. 2 of them are in one group, and then the other pair is in another group as well. So, very bizarre that. But again, I think they did the seeding by how people qualified. So, if that makes sense, that makes sense, I guess. But I wanted to go over the format for this this tournament they got going on here. And again, it's important to remember. Hey Pathos, good to see you. It's important to remember that the tournament is not the point of this event, right? Like I've said this a billion times. I'm sick of hearing myself say it. I'm sure you are too. The point of this event is not the tournament. The point of this event is to build an image for Saudi Arabia. So they don't give a shit if the tournament is like the worst possible experience for everybody involved. They just want people to think, oh, esports in Saudi Arabia. But check out this decision making. This is pretty crazy. So, as highlighted by Curling W, Curling W is somebody who works so hard at Combo Breaker, at Evo, to make sure all of the TOing is done very, very well. But here are some images of what the format is. So first phase, it's 8 groups of 4 players, GSL style. We're gonna get into what GSL style is. It stands for Global StarCraft League. We'll get into the format in just a bit. Each group plays a double elimination bracket. All matches are first to 3. Top 2 players advance to the second phase. Remaining players are eliminated. Second phase, it's the same thing, just again 4 groups of 4 players, GSL style. Each group plays a double elimination bracket. All matches are first to 3. Top 2 players advance to the third phase, and remaining players are eliminated. So, what is a GSL format, you might be asking? The GSL format stands for the Global StarCraft 2 League. This is a format that they created for StarCraft 2 that is being used in fighting games From my understanding, other TOs have already tried this format and it never worked out for fighting games. So seeing this now is a little bit weird. But let's just get into it. Let me show you guys what this format's all about, shall we? So here, I'll go ahead and bump this up a little bit so we can all see it. Ka-chow. So here's how this format works. The green are the people that win. The red are the people that loses. So there are 4 players per group, right? So on the very top left here, you see the 2 matches, right? 4 players, 2 matches. 2 people win, 2 people lose. The 2 winners then play 1 more match, and whoever wins twice advances. The 2 losers then play each other. The winner of the 2 losers then play the loser of the 2 winners. And the person who went 0-2 gets eliminated. And then the person who wins 2-1 advances to the next bracket, while the person eliminated, or the person who loses that goes 1-2 then gets eliminated. So it's the first first people to win 2 in this format, right? Now, this isn't that much of a big deal, right? It's like 4 groups of this. It's a different departure from the round robin groups that we see, so it's fine, right? No, and here's why. The brackets reset every time. So you can have the person who won 2-0 and the person who won 2-1 are going to be even after the first phase, right? There's no more losers bracket. There's no more winners bracket. It's either you win the 2 or you lose 2, right? That's it. And whether you lose 1 or not, it does not matter. It does not matter. It does not matter. Maybe they're going to use that for seeding, but it doesn't matter either way. So there's no losers, no winners brackets or anything. If you advance 2-1, you have the exact same chance as the person who advanced 2-0, because, you know, who cares about like 2-1 or 2-0, right? And I say that ironically because obviously I think that's an issue. As if this wasn't bad enough. So you can have somebody that wins 2-1, advance to the next GSL style format. And then if they advance once again to 2-1, they're going to be 4-2, where you could have other people going 4-0. And they all get placed into the final phase, which is, as I'm resetting the thing here, which is a single elimination bracket. A top 8 that's all single elim. It's best of 7. So it's first to 5. Best of 7. Wait, no. What is first to 5? I don't even know what that number is. I thought it was 7, but it's not. It's like 9? Best of 9? Right? I don't know, man. This shit makes no sense. But anyway, single elimination bracket. All matches are first to 5. It's 9? Okay, so it is best of 9. All matches are first to 5. Click here for details about seeding. So there you go. That is the format of this year's this year's Esports World Cup in Riyadh. Needless to say, a lot of people are not happy, and I think rightfully so. I think the decision to go with this format is a very, very, very bad one. I think normally I'd be up for the experimentation, but because of the whole thing with this tournament, like, it just feels a little bit weird. Now I got to reban the best of 9. Oh man, not again, Cue Ball. Not again. I literally just did a whole rebrand. But yeah, needless to say, not great, right? And especially after the issues that they've had with the Last Chance qualifier, where they didn't stream any of the Last Chance qualifiers except for the last top 8. There was also like a lot of issues with people DQing out of the Last Chance qualifiers. You know, it hasn't been a great experience from what I've seen. And again, we have to remind ourselves, the tournament is not the point of the event. The tournament is not the point of the event. So, I don't know. There is a part of me that really likes the idea of a single elimination bracket with the matches being first to 5. There is a part of me that really does like that format, right? Because it's a huge set. I think it's going to take so damn long, though. It's a huge set, first to 5. That means they're going to play they can play a maximum of 9 games when we already have a maximum of 5 games being played. So they're doubling that. It's going to take forever. Sports washing is now esports washing. Yep. That's where it is. So I don't know. I think it's going to take too long. I think it's going to be a little weird. But yeah, we already talked about the seating for the pools being a little but whatever, whatever. The tournament's going on. It's gonna look funny enough. I think the first phase of the group stages, what's the format called again? I literally just said it about 4 times. The GSL style, the GSL format starts on Thursday, the same day that 2XKO is coming out. So people are either going to be watching EWC or they're going to be playing 2XKO or they're going to be doing both. You guys know what I'm going to be doing. But yeah, anyway, those are the issues going on at EWC. Remember, it's one of those things where the tournament is not the point of the event. The event is just there for optics, right? It just reminds me of that one episode of It's Always Sunny where they have the surprise health inspection and Charlie and they're trying to hide a truck driver, and Charlie basically just goes, I don't care if it's the worst meal of his life. We're not an actual restaurant. Just make him think it's one. That's kind of how this whole thing feels. But anyway, enough shit talking EWC because, whatever. You guys know how I feel about it, so no more use in beating a dead horse. Now, let's get to 2XKO. This is going to be a much shorter show. I'm realizing now we're probably going to be going for another 10-15 minutes. I don't think we're going to be hitting the hour, but that's okay. We'll have a truncated show. But I really wanted to show off some of the stuff that 2XKO has been putting out. They announced, I think at the beginning of the week or last week, I forget when it was, that they're going to be releasing daily daily things to get us hyped up for the test. And it starts this Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. So we already have gotten quite a bit of stuff, including some of the new skins, right? League of Legends is known for having a wide breadth of unique character costumes and all this other stuff. So we've seen a little bit of that with the Yasuo alternate skin as well as the Ahri alternate skin and some colors, which look really, really good. They also went a little bit deeper into how the rollback netcode is going to work. So let's take a look at that video, courtesy of the 2XKO Twitter. Check this out.
Best online experience possible for 2XKO. So let's talk about netcode. Netcode's how game clients talk to the game server. You press a button and that
hold on, whoops. Why did that do that?
Game. Basically, it lets you play online against other players. Fighting games take netcode very seriously because your input timing matters a ton. The better the netcode, the smoother your online experience feels. Our approach to rollback netcode applies some unique tech that Riot uses for games like League and Valorant. It also includes dedicated servers and Riot Direct, our own hosting system. On a related note, there won't be regional crossplay in Alpha Lab, but we're planning to support cross-region private matches in the future. We'll also be using Vanguard, Riot's custom game security software and anti-cheat tool, to ensure the highest level of competitive integrity in your games. That's all we can share for now, but we'll release a super deep dive into the tech behind 2XKO in the future. We want the best online...
So, first of all, hi, David. Good to see you there. Appreciate you being here. So, server-based rollback. This is not the first fighting game to have server-based rollback, but server-based rollback, I think, is the logical next step for fighting game netcode, right? So, we've found this issue, right, where the netcode for fighting games are now good, right? We found this issue where now that the netcode for fighting games are good, the experience is still not great, and it's because of things outside of the dev's controls, right? Somebody could be playing on a potato PlayStation, on a potato computer or PlayStation, right? That drops a bunch of frames here and there. Somebody could be playing on Wi-Fi. Somebody could just be somewhere that doesn't have a good connection, right? And unfortunately, because games are peer-to-peer right now, which means you connect directly with your opponent, if your opponent has one of these issues where either their computer is not set up right and the game runs a little slower than usual, or their internet is not very stable, or they're on Wi-Fi or whatever, that also affects their opponent's experience as well, right? Like if you guys haven't played Tekken, that's a huge thing in Tekken where you can see the other person's computer chugging, right? Like they have an indicator that shows the other player's computer like having issues. Or even when you're playing somebody on console, it's not a consistent experience. So server-based rollback just means that the server is the truth, right? Everything that is happening on this server. The inputs are coming from both of the players, right? So if one player has a really good connection, has a really good computer, and another player has a terrible connection and a terrible computer, the player with the good connection and the good computer will not be affected by the connection of the other person, unless that other person disconnects, but that's a whole different thing, right? So this has gone from an issue of everybody having to be wired and everybody having to, get a good computer and set everything up right and have, everything set up properly to just to having the server set up properly, and everybody can connect however they want, and they can choose whatever machine or console they choose. They both connect into the server. It's kind of like a parsec machine. Think of it like a parsec machine, right? During the COVID times, the FGC was kept alive by people who developed a way to play fighting games via parsec, where you both would connect to an Amazon Web Services computer. That computer would run the game, and the entire experience was based on each individual's connection to that computer. So if one person had a shit connection, the other person would not have to deal with it, right? So this is the absolute next step on good experiences in fighting games. What's difficult about doing something like this is money. Having people connect to specific servers is already a huge deal, right? And it already costs a shit ton of money, but making sure that those servers are good is even more expensive. So the fact that, Riot has that money means that they already have the infrastructure, I think, to make sure that server-based rollback is a thing that we can experience with 2xKO. So I'm really, really curious to see how that's going to work. Or how that's going to feel, rather, right? Because, connecting to a server isn't going to be like the most perfect thing in the world. However, if those connections are good and consistent, then I think we might be in for a treat when it comes to fighting games, especially since playing fighting games online is difficult, very, very difficult. So big ups to, and we have everybody that's been working on 2xKO for the most part, like, are people that are in the FGC. So they know about the issues with delayed netcode, with rollback netcode. Hell, the two people who are spearheading this, Tom and the Cannon brothers, are the people who made GGPO. So they already know something or a thing or another about a rollback netcode, right? So I'm excited to see what they come up with for this. And especially like having the ability to have server-based rollback is going to be so good. I think that genuinely is going to make the experience so much better for playing online. I'm curious to see if it works as well in practice as it does in theory, right? There have been other fighting games that have had server-based rollback. I have not played them, so I'm not 100% sure what they feel like or what they do, but we'll know this Thursday. On top of that, they also showed off essentially what your experience is going to be like when you log on to 2xKO for the first time on the Alpha Lab, and here it is.
When you launch 2xKO for the first time, select Fight and choose Tutorial Mode from the menu at the top of the screen. Follow the guides on the left to learn your abilities and assists. When you finish the tutorial, you might want to practice your new moves. Select Fight and then go to Training Mode. At the start of every game, you select your champions and your fuse. The default fuse is the Pulse Fuse, which lets you do combos with light, medium, or heavy attacks. Use this Pulse Fuse to get a feel for the game and what your champ does. Once you're more advanced, try changing your playstyle with other fuses. Once you've locked in, Training Mode will put you in a match with a few training dummies. There are tons of settings to choose from. You can find the menu input in the bottom right. Check out the command list to see what your champion does. If you want to fight against some bots, select Bot Settings, then switch the controller setting option from Training Bot to CPU.
And you can already see like the beefy training mode that this is going to have.
Behavior, like difficulty level. We recommend starting with the lowest setting until you get used to the game. Dynamic is also a fun option, which will have the CPU adjust its difficulty over time to match yours within a single session. And that's all you need to know for your Alpha Lab training arc. The best way to learn is by fighting other players. But if you want to study up, training mode's full of tools to help you get better at the game in no time. When you launch...
So there you go. It is going to have a training mode. It is going to have a tutorial, right? That was the one thing that I think I was like the most worried about, was the tutorial of whether we were going to get a tutorial or not, right? Because this is, again, like a very new game. So not a lot of people have had the chance to lab it out as much as others, right? Especially if you're a big content creator or a professional player that gets invited to go to stuff, or that gets invited to go to like Riot offices and stuff to go play behind closed doors, or if you've been to EVO Japan, EVO Combo Breaker, etc., etc. So this is gonna be exciting, man. I haven't played this since last year EVO. I played it at EVO 2023 for a very brief moment. I think I played a first to 3 with it was me and the community head, community lead Dragles at the time, versus somebody from the design team whose name I currently don't remember, and I hate myself for not remembering their name because they were super nice and super cool. But, you know, again, I think just the fact that we have people like Yohozi, Apology Man, Pat the Flip, Nerd Josh, Marlin Pie, Clockwork, Up to Snuff, right? Like, all of these huge names are people that have been in the FGC for such a long time, and the fact that they're the ones building this thing, I think is... they're the ones building this thing on top of the already huge names that are a part of it, like the Cannons and Sean Unconquerable. I think we're in good hands. I think we're in good hands. I'm super excited to see the game playing. I'm super excited to play the game and to see the game played this weekend. It's the first time that we've had like unfettered access to it, right? Outside of the Riot offices or outside of an event. So I'm really curious to see like what broken shit we're gonna find. I cannot wait. It's looking like it's gonna be a lot of fun. What I did want to show off a little bit here, if you give me 30 seconds, because I just need to switch this, is they have their website. If you go to play2xko.com, you can go to their website right now. And I wanted to show the playable characters we're going to get for this 2xko beta test. So here are some of the characters that we'll get to see. Boop. We have Darius, you know, also known as the spin to win guy. If you've ever played League of Legends, he's kind of like a Ryu, if you will. He's like got some beefy attacks. He can have some really interesting confirms, right? He has a lot of moves where like he pulls if you're comboing somebody and you hit them with a launcher, he can just pull the character to wherever you need them to be to keep combos going. It's very interesting. He also has this thing where if he hits an opponent enough times, he causes the opponent to bleed. So he's interesting. He's very interesting. I'm excited to see how playing him is going to feel. Next, we have Echo. Echo is, a clone / rewind city. He can place like time markers, if you will, and he can like rewind to them to keep his combos going. So like essentially, if you have if you have like a save, think of it like save state the character, right? If you have the character at a specific at a specific place and you choose to activate the timer thing, you can then do a whole combo, jump around, do whatever you want, and then you can just reactivate and go like rewind, kind of like what's her face from Overwatch. Just rewind to where you were before and still keep the combo going. It's very interesting. He's a very interesting character. He's very mobile. He has some zoning capabilities. He can throw grenades and stuff, which is very interesting, and I think he can throw his sword as well. So he's gonna be really, really interesting. He's kind of like the Virgil character, where he's gonna mix you up real hard. He's gonna mix you up real hard. Next, Ari. Ari's kind of like, think of her as the storm function, if you will. She's got a lot of projectiles. She's got a lot of air mobility, right? I think she's one of the characters that has like a couple extra dashes, if I'm not mistaken. At least she has a flight. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see what she does. Especially because she has, I think her strength is going to come from her assists, right? Her assists are from what I've seen, can like do really well to help extend combos and such. So I'm really curious to see like how her movement and like how you can hit confirm with her, like if you get like one stray hit. Think of it kind of, I kind of think of it like Morgan from Marvel 3, right? Where like if you get one hit with the fireball, you're able to confirm it into some crazy shit. I think that's what we're gonna see with her. It's gonna be very, very interesting. Next, Yasuo. So when I played with the devs last year at Evo, not this year, last year at Evo, the dev essentially said that Yasuo is kind of like Johnny. So he's a little bit different than Johnny, but I think what he meant is like he is very good at taking up a lot of the screen, right? He's got like these crazy dashes. He's got like these crazy like sword slashes that like take up a lot of the screen. He's got a lot of very interesting movement, right? So he's gonna be interesting. He's gonna be interesting. He's kind of like a mix of like I almost want to say like a Nova from Marvel 3, but I could be wrong about that because I didn't play Nova all that much. But I think it's kind of like that. That's how I think of it, right? He like can cover a couple of like really good vectors. That'll be very interesting. And then we have the two new characters, Ilaoi. I think that's how you pronounce her name, right? Who is big body. She can place the tentacle traps, right? That help extend combos and such all over the. She can place those traps all over the battlefield, and then activate them while they're in combo or like as a block stun, which is super duper interesting. She also does a shit ton of damage. She is crazy. From all of the stuff that we've seen so far, she does a ton of damage. And then Up to Snuff's boy. Up to Snuff was the person who designed this character, Braum. The guy that just carries a giant door as a shield and also has like some furry friends that he throws along the way. He kind of reminds me of like a Juggernaut type thing, right? His whole thing is his shield turns into ice after you hit your opponent with something. So like he gets a stat buff and extra moves when his shield is ice, as opposed to when his shield door is not ice. So he also has a command grab, and he has like I think he can throw like those furry guys, kind of like the Dudley Rose taunt, right? So I'm gonna be very interested to see him. He kind of what's really interesting is the way that he looks. I haven't gotten to play this at Evo, but the way that Braum looks is he looks like the closest I've ever seen a tank character in a fighting game, right? Because his whole thing is he can absorb hits with his ice shield or his door shield or whatever, right? So imagine calling that as an assist while you're like trying to cover something that you're doing with another character, right? And he can just absorb that damage while your other character is doing something else. So I think he's going to be that type of character. He's going to be very interesting to play. Honestly, I think as of right now, Braum is the one that interests me the most. When I played the beta, or not, when I played the build at Evo last year, I played Darius just because that was like the only character I could kind of like, wrap my head around with the short time I had. So I think maybe that might be my team, is Darius, Braum. But who knows? Who knows? I won't know until I get my hands on the game, which is this Thursday. But yeah, so yeah, those are the 6 characters. They have all of the fuses and stuff that they've already gone over, where you can like kind of change. I think fuses are like the best way I think I can explain fuses are kind of like picking grooves in SNK games, right? And in Street Fighter Alpha games, where you can pick like how the game mechanics work. So you could have either like one fuse is for auto combos, another fuse is for like getting double the assists, another fuse is for getting double the handshake tags, which is when the characters switch from being an assist to a main character. Or there's one that I think deals like more damage the lower health you have, right? Like there's a guts fuse. So I don't know, man. I'm really interested in it. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. You can tell that the team that's been building this game has been like really, really putting in some good work, because the game already looks really good, and already like even just a little bit I played felt really, really good. So you can tell like that they're focusing on the correct things. And even though like the very beginning of the development for this was a little tough, right? Because I think at first it started out as a 1v1 game and then kind of developed into a 2v2. So even though like this wasn't a little bit of like game production hell at the very beginning, now that they like are developing it and are like moving forward with it, it looks really, really good already. So I can't wait to see what they come up with. The thing I think I'm most excited about is this. And this is something that we discussed during our stream today, during the day. My biggest hurdle when it comes to assist games like this, or tag games, or team games, is that I'm a character specialist, right? I like playing just one character. And I have a really hard time learning another character. And I have an even more hard time switching between characters, right? That's like just, my brain just struggles with that so much. Like if I had just finished playing Street Fighter 6 and I go play Mortal Kombat, I'm gonna still try to do like drive parries, just because like that's what my brain is thinking about, right? It's more of that muscle memory than an actual thought process. So what I'm really interested in is if there are other people out there like me who are character specialists who just focus on learning one character, if we can team up. And that's how we'll play the versus game, right? Is instead of dealing with learning multiple characters, we'll just learn multiple people. You know, we'll just have multiple people coming in. So I'm really, really curious to see how that's gonna work. And the little that I have played last year, I did play a 2v1, which was already like really, really interesting. I love the fact that the onus is on the character to make all the decisions. So, for example, if you're playing with a teammate and you're the main character, your teammate is the one that has to call their own assist, or that has to call their own handshake, or that has to call their burst or whatever, right? So you're never really like, and even if the character's already dead, you still have things you can do. So the game's not really over, even if your character dies, which I find super duper interesting. I think I just talked for like 15 minutes without a breath. But all this to say, I'm so stupid excited for this gosh darn alpha to happen. I signed up with the Evo stuff. I filled out all of the forms, so I should be good to go. They said the invitations will roll out when the beta starts on Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. Or, I'm sorry, at 1 p.m. Pacific, which is 3 p.m. Central. So, yeah, it's on Thursday. It's going to be a big party day. You bet your ass I'm going to be streaming it. The FAQ page has an FAQ for can I stream it, and they said please do. So who am I, you know, if you're gonna twist my arm, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it a hell of a lot. It's gonna be really, really good, and I'm really in. I'm thinking I'm gonna be into it. I really hope I like it. I haven't played it too much, so that's why I'm not 100% sure I'll like it, but I'm fairly certain I'll like it. I hope I do anyway. But with all that said, that's it. That's it. Yeah, I said we were gonna have a bit of a shorter show today. Not a lot of like really big things happening, except for like we've just kind of been in like this little holding pattern, right? Where after Evo we have we have a little bit of like this break, right? So we got all of the news that we got at Evo. Now we have this alpha coming up on Thursday, and that's kind of all that's happening, really. I think the next big news drop is going to be at the end of August with Gamescom. My assumption is we're going to see a Terry trailer in there. My assumption is we'll probably see like another Tekken character get revealed. Maybe another Mortal Kombat character, or like another Mortal Kombat thing, like details about the new Mortal Kombat DLC. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, that's all. Chat, since I don't have a co-host today, you guys are my co-hosts. Can you guys think of anything else we need to talk about before we go? I think I got just about everything, right? We got the local thing. We got the 2XKO, the EWC. AT&T is serious about selling WB games. I thought that was already done. I thought they already did. That's pretty crazy. Man, AT&T is like that company that's kind of like been on the forefront of ruining a couple of things too. So maybe we shouldn't talk about that all that much, at least not right now. So I can have like an actual thing built out with facts and sources, because right now I don't got it. But that's good to know, Shayon. I'm definitely gonna keep a lookout for that as far as like AT&T selling WB games and all that. Yeah. Well, ladies and gents, A little bit of a shorter episode. However, we have been going for 45 minutes, so not all that much shorter. But that's going to be the end of this episode. Here, Best of 5 episode 319. The pre-2XKO episode. So come next week, the beta or the alpha for 2XKO will already have happened. And we'll be discussing a lot of that, as well as chatting about anything and everything else that we see. So with all this said, that's going to be it. Thanks everybody for joining me on the show tonight. Sorry that this was just me yapping at you. Sorry that this was just me yapping at you, but you know what? That's kind of what a podcast is, isn't it? This is a talk show, all after all. You know what I mean? But anyway, salutes to all of you, everybody listening. Thanks for listening. If you guys could do me a favor, if you go to youtube.com/sfand, you can see one of his videos is the live stream from when he went to Arcade UFO. Go blow that up. Go blow that up. Make sure that, make sure he knows he's supported by the FGC so we can get him coming out to more events, right? Having him there was really, really cool, man. Having him there was real cool. Super interesting. Like, seeing his reaction to walking into Arcade UFO for the first time was very, very interesting. He was like mind blown that it was exactly like an arcade that he saw in Korea when he was traveling, right? So, anywhoozle. Ladies and gents, I'm out of here. Thank you all so much. And we'll catch you next time on Best of 5. Waka-cha. I don't know. All right, goodbye. Evil Nice Guy, thanks for this up.